السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم ما بعد. And welcome to another video on the Islamic Knowledge YouTube channel. And before we get started, if I could recommend and if I could request that if you do enjoy some of these book review videos, then if you could consider becoming an ambassador of Islamic knowledge. And what that means is that you just contribute £5 a month to our institute. If you feel that's interesting, if you think that's something you want to support, please have a look at the description of this video. And there's a link where you can become an ambassador of Islamic knowledge. And inshallah ta'ala contribute as little as £5, or if you want to contribute more than that per month. And what that can do is help us to cover all of our running costs and also issues such as, for example, equipment that we might need to continue making these videos, to pay editors, etc. So this is our book today that I want to go through, and it's an Arabic book, Al-Fikr al-Sami fi Tarikh al-Fiqh al-Islami. And this is one of the earliest books that were written by a scholar by the name of Al-Hajwi, and his name is Al-Hajwi, by the way, not Al-Hajwi. Quite a few people pronounce it as Al-Hajwi. To the best of my understanding, Wallahu alam, it's Al-Hajwi, and that's how Sheikh Abdul Fattah Abu Ghudda writes his name as well in his book Tarajim Sittati Rijal min Fuqaha al-Alam al-Islami. So this is a book that he's written on 6 great scholars of the recent past that were fuqaha, and amongst them he has a full biography on Al-Hajwi, and he explains what type of a person he was, mashallah. So this is a 2-volume book. It's actually 4 parts to this book, and it was one of the first books that were written. Like I said, this book along with Tarikh al-Tashri' al-Islami by Khudri Bek, these were the 2 first books, so to speak, that were written on the history of fiqh in general. And this is one of the books that I have also used in my book, An Introduction to the Hanafi Madhab. Volume 1 is obviously on the way, inshallah, and then volume 2 is after that. You can see I've got my personal notes that I've written on this book as well. On both volumes I've got my personal notes, so you can see in volume 1 and in volume 2 I've got my notes as well. And I do hope to share my notes on the Islamic Knowledge Telegram channel, so pop over to the Islamic Knowledge Telegram channel, go on Telegram, type in @IK Courses, you'll see a channel there, subscribe to that channel, and you will get access to the PDF of these notes, and they are legible. You can at least pick up on the important and beneficial points in this book. Now, how good is this book? This book, like I said, I mean, the author passed away 1376 Hijri, and now you can see that this book has got the forewords by some notable scholars of Islam. For example, Ibn Ashur, rahimahullah, the famous Al-Tahir Ibn Ashur. Remember, this scholar is from the Maghrib, he is from Morocco, and therefore you have got taqreed of many ulama. تقريض قاضي تونس سابقا وشيخ الإسلام المالكية حالا بالديار التونسية, and it is النابغة سيدي الطاهر بن عاشور أمتع الله به وبتأليفه الإسلام ونصه الحمد لله الذي قيض لهذه الأمة نوابغ علمائها. And he carries on and he mentions and loads a lot of praise upon this book. وها هو اليوم قد عززها بكتاب سماه الفكر السامي في تاريخ الفقه الإسلامي. كتاب طالعته مليا كتاب طالعته مليا فوجدت سماه باسمه حريا وأعجبت بعرضه وتحريره واستخلاصه من دلائل علم الفقه ومقاصده وتاريخ الإسلام وتراجم رجاله, ورأيت منه ما لا يأتي مثله إلا لعالم روي من منابع الشريعة المختلفة المذاق بزلال تنزهه عن التكدر والامتذاق. In any case, you can see the high level of language that Tahir ibn Ashur writes with, of course. And then on page 30 on volume 1, you've got Sheikh Ahmed al-Rafi' al-Tahtawi, the very famous, you could say, writer, book collector. And then on page 34 you've got the foreword of Sheikh Abdul Hayy al-Kattani, who needs no introduction really, the famous book collector, writer, manuscript collector, bibliophile, al-Allamat al-Muhaddith al-Sheikh Abi Abdul Ahad Abdul Hayy ibn Abdul Kabir al-Kattani. Now this book, essentially on page 60, he explains that he divides fiqh into 4 periods. So if you look here, he says ثم المقصد في الفقه على عهد الإسلام وهو أقسام 4 باعتبار أطوار الفقه الأربعة التي تطور فيها في نظري. And he says الطور الأول طور الطفولية وهو من أول ما بعثت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى أن توفي. So he divides fiqh into 4 stages. The first is when it was a child. This was in the time of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Then طور الشباب, when he becomes a teenager, وهو من زمن الخلفاء الراشدين إلى آخر القرن الثاني. Then طور الكهولة, then he becomes an old man إلى آخر القرن. Then طور الشيخوخة, then it becomes a very old man. You could say that now it becomes, you could say, a senior old sheikh. والهرم, it's almost like you could say a frail old man. وهو ما بعد القرن الرابع إلى الآن. And then مبينا الأسباب الموجبة لتلك التطورات. And now he goes through each event slowly bit by bit, and it's just absolutely filled with fawaid. في مسمى الفقه وهل هو علم ديني أو دنيوي. If we just look at the kind of contents page, and each volume by the way has its own contents page, he goes stage by stage into all the different generations of fiqh. And then for example you've got اجتهاد أبو بكر, اجتهاد عمر, أعمال عمر في تنظيم المالية, عمله في القضاء, اجتهاد علي, اجتهاد عثمان, من اشتهر بالفتية من الصحابة والتابعين زمن الخلفاء, ترجمة عائشة وحفص. And then by the way, it's absolutely filled with biographies of scholars. So each stage is filled with all the biographies of all the scholars. So ترجمة عمر ابن عباس, ترجمة معاوية بن أبي سفيان. Then when he gets into then you can see هل كان الصحابة كلهم مجتهدون, عدالة الصحابة, مشاهير أهل الفتوى في هذا العصر. Again, he benefits quite a bit from أعلام الموقعين وإعلام الموقعين, however you want to say it, of Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala. And he fills each section up with biographies. You can see ترجمة عطاء بن أبي رباح, ترجمة الحسن البصري, ترجمة الحكم بن عتيبة. Again, this can be a bit lengthy, it can end up going a bit too long, but it is really really beneficial. For example, صور من الخلاف الواقع في هذا العصر, منها اختلاف في تعارض عامين ما الذي يقدم منهما ومثاله عدة الحامل. And everything is referenced, by the way. There is a muhaqqiq who has worked on the book by the name of Ayman Saleh. I don't know if this is the very famous Ayman Saleh who's written numerous articles and books, but he's referenced all of the quotations quite well. Then in terms of if you, for example, he goes through each madhab as well. This is quite a unique feature. He goes through each madhab, the key scholars of each madhab, the key books in each madhab, the key qawaid of each madhab. So for example, if we just look here on volume 1, page 444, you got قواعد مذهب أبي حنيفة في الفقه, خبر الواحد عند أبي حنيفة. And this is sometimes reference to some of the earliest books. For example, وأصول مذهب الحنفية كثيرة استوعبها أصحابه في كتب كالإمام البزدوي, وبعده محب الله بن عبد الشكور في كتاب مسلم الثبوت. So you can see it's really well organized. He goes through a lot of detail, especially when it comes to Maliki. Obviously he's a Maliki himself, goes through quite a bit of detail on on the Malikiya as well. And another thing you can say is that he has benefited from Shah Waliullah. So that was the comment I was just about to make, which is he has benefited from Shah Waliullah's works quite a bit when it comes to the Hanafi madhab at least. He even, can you see here, he's even discussing al-Hiyal عند al-Hanafiyya. So like this, stage by stage, century by century, he goes into all of the key important developments of the development of fiqh, or of the journey of fiqh to our current stage which it is at currently. For example, I'll just show you one beneficial example. There's too much to show in this book because it's really a book you must read. You must benefit from this book. But for example, here there's always a discussion about Abu Yusuf and Imam Muhammad being mujtahid mutlaq, despite them doing intisab to Abu Hanifa. But what about Zufar and Al-Hasan ibn Ziyad? So he says وَكُلُّ مِنْ زُفَرْ وَالْحَسَنُ بْنُ زِيَادٍ مِنْ زُفَرْ وَالْحَسَنِ بْنِ زِيَادٍ يُعْتَبَرُ مُجْتَهِدًا مُطْلقًا كأبي يوسف ومحمد بن الحسن ولم تكن نسبتهم إلى أبي حنيفة إلا كنسبة الشافعي إلى مالك وابن حنبل إلى الشافعي إلا أن هذين كتبت أقوالهما مفردة ولم يخلط قول أحد منهم بمن قبله بخلاف الأربعة مع أبي حنيفة فإنها قد امتزجت. وإن كان بعض الحنفية يزعم أنهم مقلدون لأبي حنيفة، نعم كل أربعة يقال فيه مجتهد منتسب لانتساب لإمامه انتساب المتعلم للمعلم لا المقلد لمقلده إذ التقليد لم يكن انتشر بين العلماء إذ ذاك. أشار لذلك الدهلوي. So you can see he's benefiting from Shah Waliullah as well. He's benefiting from a full range of different scholars. So you can see as well here, volume 2 then starts to get into some of the later stages, and you can see absolutely filled with biographies. A lot of the book, by the way, is biographies, but there are some beneficial points as well. For example, he'll start discussing at times when did, for example, he says on page 189 that after 500 Hijri now you are essentially moving on to the Ashabu Tarjih in the madhab. So you will have very little ijtihad taking place, but a lot more tarjih based ijtihad. So he says هذا الطور مبدأه من أول القرن الخامس إلى وقتنا هذا الذي هو القرن الرابع عشر، وذلك أنه وصل إلى منتهى قوته في القرون الأربعة السابقة وتم نضجه فزاد بعد حتى احترق. He carries on. and what does he say? قصور الهمم عن الاجتهاد إلى الاقتصار على الترجيح في الأقوال المذهبية والاختيار منها. ولله در سعيد بن الحداد الفقيه القيرواني إذ يقول إن الذي أدخل كثير من الناس في التقليد نقص العقول. By the way, he's very pro ijtihad in the full book throughout. For example, one of the lovely discussions there are in this book, by the way, I really enjoyed this discussion, was in volume 2, page 482. He has one of the best discussions, or a really beneficial discussion. Let me not say the best discussion, a really interesting discussion on the whole concept of taswir. So he says حكم التصوير ونصب التماثيل بالمدن لعظماء القوم. and he discusses this in significant detail, but about 3-4 sides he spends on it, 3 sides approximately, and it's an interesting perspective that he provides on tasweer, and this is all the way back in 1376, a bit ahead of his time, mashallah. But in any case, this is a really beneficial book, Al-Fikr al-Sami fi Tarikh al-Fiqh al-Islami. Just to look at the contents page of the second volume as well. The ending of the book, by the way, is filled quite a bit with some people asked him questions about certain things he added into this book, and he tries to give an answer that why did I write it like this, why did I do this. So here you can see as well, Mujmal al-Tarikh al-Siyasi. By the way, he gives you a lot of introduction discussions on random stuff, like even the development of Arabic language, Huduthu Maddat al-Qaghad, even about paper, you can see he's discussing it. Inqiradu Madahib al-Mujtahideen, and then Sifat al-Tawthiq, Ba'du Tarajim al-Zaydiyya, even the Zaydiyya Fiqh al-Shafi'iyya, Ba'du Tarajim al-Hanafiyya, Istintajun min Halat al-Fuqaha fi Sadat al-Salifa. So it's really interesting. Again here as well, Ihya al-Ijtihad ala ahdi Dawlat al-Muwahhidin, and carries on Munadharat al-Faqihain. He does have quite a bit of a focus on the development of Maliki fiqh in Al-Andalus, etc., and those areas quite a bit in the Maghrib as well. So mashallah, this is an amazing book. I've benefited from it. I've read these 2 volumes and I really found them tremendously beneficial. In fact, you'll find most of my notes in this volume, in the first volume and second volume as well, quite a bit. Add to Madkhal. Madkhal is an introduction to the Hanafi Madhab volume 1. So essentially, you can see I'm benefiting from this book quite a bit. It's a fantastic book. If you're in the 3rd or 4th year of your Alimiyah studies, or even in your 5th year, just want to learn a little bit about the history of fiqh, this is really a fantastic book. This is a classic, and this is one of those books that you just have to read, by Al-Hajwi. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I do hope you share it with others. I hope you give it a like, and if you did enjoy it, then please do subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you're updated with all the next few videos that will come out as well. Jazakumullah khair wa ahsan jazaa. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.